If you like blowing snow in the desert, people passed out on couches at 2 p.m., and champagne-drenched Christmas trees, then you're going to love the holiday decor here in Las Vegas. In this video, we're going to rate all 28 major casinos on the Las Vegas Strip based on their Christmas decor. Some went all out with extravagant Christmas decorations, while others put a little less effort into it. We're starting the tour here at Park MGM and walking all the way up the Strip up to the Strat, and then all the way back down until we get to the bottom, making a loop and ending the tour back at the New York, New York. Our first stop is the Park MGM, which has this nice Christmas tree when you walk into Italy. But that's about it. Once you get into the casino, there's absolutely nothing other than some garland by the cashier. Our next stop is Aria, which has this huge merriment theme going on when you walk in. It's a nice way to dress up the lobby bar and encourage more people to drink. Inside the casino, it's a little less in your face with some random decor and these lit trees by the lift bar. There's also this mirrored tree with a bunch of colorful numbers on it. I really didn't get the concept, but it's original to say the least. Our next stop is the Cosmopolitan, which was a huge disappointment, with the only decor being this red garland throughout the casino. This is the only Christmas tree I saw, which was a tiny one inside of a store. I did see these trees covered in garbage bags being wheeled through the casino. I'm not sure why. Next, we have the Bellagio, where there's a ton of decorations in the lobby. There's even a guy playing Christmas music on the piano at the bar. The conservatory was very well decorated, probably the best on the Strip. It was super busy and featured this nutcracker theme, which I know nothing about. But that's it. Once you walk out into the casino area, all the Christmas decor magically disappears. Our next stop is Caesar's Palace, which has these Roman statues dressed in Christmas ornaments for some reason. There's some other random decor on the ceilings around the casino, but that's about it, other than this other random Christmas tree I saw tucked away in the back for some reason, right by the conference center. Next up is the Mirage. I was surprised to see any decorations since it's likely going to be demolished soon to make way for a guitar hotel, but we got a few underneath this little nature dome. They also had the only snowman, and for political correctness, snow woman I saw on my entire tour. Hopefully they don't get demolished, I really like them. Next up is Treasure Island. I had really high expectations as this was the first place I went to with some decor on the outside by the entrance. However, this was the only Christmas tree I saw. You have to really search for it. It's all the way hidden in the back by the check-in line. You're not really going to see it unless you're a hotel guest. But I was glad to see some smaller trees scattered around the rest of the casino in the area. It wasn't all isolated to one region like the Bellagio. They also had this holiday giveaway thing. I'm really not sure how it works, but it seemed to do a good job of attracting small children. Next, we have Resorts World, which never ceases to disappoint me. And it sure did, as this was the only Christmas tree I saw, and decor for that matter, trapped inside this red cage. As you can see, this is a very sterile environment with no class or character, and Gatsby's was still closed even on a Saturday afternoon. Though I did see some colorful Christmas lights in the Doghouse Saloon and Sportsbook, but I don't know if that really counts as being part of the casino. Our next stop is Circus Circus. There's no decorations in the casino other than this garland behind the cashier's desk. I did find some other garland not behind lock and key and this wreath right by this non-refundable jewelry parlor with no attendant by it. But I did eventually find their one Christmas tree after walking all the way back to check-in. Next up, we have the Strat, all the way on the upper northbound of the Strip. I had some high expectations seeing these wreaths and these little party hats on these statues outside. And right before you walk in, they even injected the Strat lettering with this garland. Looks like we've hit the holiday decor jackpot. We're greeted with this blue Christmas tree underneath this big blue chandelier and lighting. It looks really nice. And the fun doesn't stop there. There's this white and blue garland threaded all throughout the casino floor. There's even this plant-based Christmas tree here by the sportsbook. Always good to be thinking about the environment. And there's a bunch more lighted wreaths and Christmas trees here by the hotel check-in. They even give decorations to the self-check-in people and have a few more decors down that hallway. Alright, now we make our first U-turn and start heading south on the Strip, which brings us to the Sahara, which has these lighted columns right by the rotunda. you can see they keep flashing between red and green. So again, my hopes are really high. And they were well met. Right when you walk in, there's this little art piece featuring Christmas gifts and these people made out of ornaments. It sort of looks like the hat is the chandelier. And all throughout the casino, not just by the entrance, they had all these different Christmas displays. It was truly immersive and integrated into the full casino floor. But this piece was my favorite, featuring blowing snow behind this camel in the desert. Next we have the all-new Fontainebleau. And they have these palm trees wrapped up in white lights, which I believe is for holiday purposes. They're also scattered around these palm trees by the walkway here. These are the only 3 trees inside by the Collins Bar, but they just opened a few days ago, so I'm not going to give them a hard time. Next we have the Wynn, which also has these lighted trees on the outside. Inside, you'll find these ornate displays of Christmas trees, lights, and other random assortments, though it could pass for an Easter decoration a little bit. Though these model non-gingerbread houses were definitely more Christmas themed. They had 2 that I could find, and they were really well done. I really appreciate the effort that the Wynn put into their holiday decor. Next, we have the Palazzo and Venetian. You'll see why I'm grouping them together in a little bit. So this was the only Christmas display I could find. I'm not really sure what's going on, but I see some red and white love and Christmas ornaments, so I guess this counts. And it's right between the Palazzo and Venetian, so I guess they just share that one display. Our next stop is Casino Royale, which I did not have very high hopes for. But I was pleasantly surprised. I thought they did a really good job based on the atmosphere. They had a lot of lights on the ceilings and a lot of these little trees scattered all throughout the premises. It had a very cozy, dive bar, holiday-y theme. It's hard to put in words, to be honest. Next up, we have Harrah's as we enter Caesar's territory. And this was a huge disappointment. There was absolutely nothing other than these 2 Christmas trees by check-in all the way in the back. Next up, we have the LINQ. So like Harrah's, the Christmas trees were also by check-in, but at least they weren't all the way in the back. They're sort of in the middle of the property. And if you stand behind the trees at the right angle, it almost looks like the top one has a shining star on it. But it's actually just a halogen bulb burning into my retina right now. Our next Caesar's property is the Flamingo, and I have a hunch we're going to start noticing a pattern here. Which I did, as the only Christmas trees were all the way in the back by check-in with absolutely nothing in the entire casino. Our next stop is the Cromwell. They also only had a few Christmas trees, but at least they were by the entrance where people could see them. And this one was like me the other day, half blacked out. The other side was a bit more functional, and it's a small casino, but it's nice they put the trees on both entrances. Our next stop is the Horseshoe, which was also pretty minimal, but at least they had their one mandatory Christmas tree by the entrance instead of all the way in the back. And they also had this garland by the high limit area, but it was half blacked out. That seems to be a common theme in Las Vegas. Our next stop is Paris. Surely the City of Lights would have great Christmas decor. Nope. This is literally the only thing I found. They're these tiny Christmas trees and they lit up the Eiffel Tower. That counts as Christmas decor, I guess. Our next stop is at Planet Hollywood. And their Christmas tree was all the way by check-in, but it had this clever champagne bottle being poured on the tree. I've never seen anything like this. I think the flashing lights are meant to be sparkling champagne. And to the right, they have these random Christmas ornaments underneath these little hanger things, which was kind of neat. Our next stop is the MGM Grand, which is a huge casino. Making it that much more difficult to find the Christmas decor. I had to walk all the way to the back by check-in. And the main attraction was their line in this little ornament thing with lights on it. Had a rodeo hat on it because it was rodeo week when I went. But that was it. This was the only other Christmas tree I saw in the entire casino outside of the check-in area. Our next stop is the Tropicana, which had its one mandatory Christmas tree right by both one entrance and the check-in area. At least they had some wreaths up there. It looked a little bit festive behind the sterile backdrop. Though by the guest elevators, I saw this huge red ornament with some more lighted garland by the balcony. And there were even more of those red ornaments outside by the valet, as well as some square wreaths I've never seen before. Our next stop is all the way south at Mandalay Bay. On the casino floor, the only decor I saw was by the security desk. I suppose criminals deserve to have a Merry Christmas as well. But tucked all the way in the back by the check-in area was the real Christmas tree, and this one was probably one of the nicest I've seen. I don't know how tall it was, but it was pretty tall, and it even had a star on the top, which is very rare from what I've seen in Las Vegas so far. Good job, Mandalay Bay. I really like your star. Our next stop is the Luxor, which is an Egyptian-themed resort, which I'm pretty sure predates most of the religions that we have holiday decorations for, so my expectations were not very high. When you walk in, you do see the one mandatory Christmas tree, but it's really well done. MGM seems to be doing a much better job than Caesars with their trees. And at check-in, we have 2 lighted wreaths, so not great, but a little bit better than what I was expecting. Our next stop is at the Excalibur, often ridiculed as the worst casino on the Strip. But I thought they did a pretty good job. They had a bunch of wreaths on the outside, and I think they fit the medieval decor pretty well. Inside were 2 very well-decorated Christmas trees, one by the front entrance and one by the back rotunda by the Starbucks. Even Dick of Dick's Last Resort whipped out his Christmas tree with a very interesting star on top. And our final stop, after 7.5 hours of walking, is the New York Hotel and Casino. In typical New York elitist fashion, the decorations were placed exclusively by the high limit area, as well as the VIP lounge for MGM reward holders, only for Platinum and Noir. The common folk only had access to this garland up by the check-in area. So that's it, all 28 casinos and their Christmas decor. In case you're wondering, this was filmed on December 16th, 2023. What was your favorite decor? Let me know in the comments. If you liked this video, please like and consider subscribing. If I get to 1,000 subscribers, I may be able to monetize this channel and afford to buy new shoes to replace the ones I wore out while filming this. Thanks again for watching and have a wonderful day.